Right then, before we start, a little bit of vindication for me. I've been thinking, why did I never think to change the needle jets in the carb with all the problems I've been having? And then I thought there was a little voice inside me that said, I'm sure did I not change those needle jets? And I've had a look through my invoices and my carb stuff. And sure enough, here we are. April 2017 from AMAL. 107 needle jets. So what I did, I remember now, back in 2017, I decided to change the needle jets. And these are the 107 needle jets to replace the standard 106s. Now, why I ordered, these are obviously a whole size bigger rather than a half size bigger that I've now got. Anyway, I got them 107s and I put them in, and I remember the bike simply wouldn't run. Well, it'd start, but I barely got round the block. Now, why, I don't know, but it just wouldn't, just didn't want to know at all. So, I took them out immediately. They were in for about 5 minutes. The bike just wouldn't run at all. There we are, the 107s. Yeah, so I did change them back, 8 years ago. Yeah, 8 years ago, thereabouts. And yeah, nearly 9 years ago now, blimey. Yeah, and it didn't run at all. So I feel a bit better now because I'm thinking, why, that was a bit. Why did I never think to change the needle jets? Well, I did. Let's hope now. I've now gone up to 106.5, so half a size larger, and maybe they'll be fine. But I do remember when I put these in, the bike didn't want to know at all. Okay then, bike all back together and all looking good. So carbs back on, rockers back on. I'll and obviously put the tank back on, and so we're going to start it up, and see how we're going. I have started it up already, and I'm pretty happy. I'm pretty happy. So it's running. It seems to be running really well, but obviously I've got to give it a road test. I won't know till then, but it seems to be really good. Ticking over really nicely, revving nicely, stable tick over, all good. The only thing that I'm worried about that I hadn't realised before I did all that work was that it's just starting to smoke slightly, which is very annoying. It's not bad, but it's certainly smoking slightly. So, which it, it must have just crept up on me that because I haven't noticed it before. And it doesn't surprise me because if you watch these videos sort of regularly, you'll know that I did a T160 for someone last year, and it smoked like an absolute chimney. And the problem was, it was the engineers that I'd used. They made a complete mess of fitting the valve guides in the head. The valve guides were loose, and the oil was pouring down the into the combustion chambers and burning oil. And also, I was a bit worried about the honing that they'd done. Any work they'd done, I wasn't happy with it. And I had that rehoned. It doesn't smoke at all. But this has started to smoke. And of course, where did I have all the engineering work done? At the same place that they had the bike was done last year. So it's not a surprise to me. Obviously, they didn't do as bad a job as they did on that bike last year, but it's no surprise to me that it's now starting to smoke, even though it's only done just under 2,000 miles since I rebuilt it. Because they've either made another mess of the valve guides, or they didn't hone it, they didn't rebore it and hone it properly. Because in fact, when I had this new, they rebored it and it absolutely poured smoke out of the back, very similar to the Trident last year, and that was the rebore. When I took it apart, I took it all apart again, and the middle cylinder had started to seize, was partially seized, and there was, the whole thing was a mess. They redid it for me, and I thought it was okay, but obviously I'll never go back there again. But so that's the only fly in the ointment. That I'll have to see how it goes this coming year, this next year, and see how bad the smoking gets. But but then it's another, at very least, another hone, new rings, or got to take it all apart again, which is, if I'd have realised it was smoking, I might have done it this time. But it's not bad. It's not bad. You probably won't see it at all on the camera, but then it can smoke like a chimney, and and the camera doesn't pick it up. Anyway, I'm going to start it up now, so you can have a look. Just be aware that for whatever reason, the microphones, I've tried different microphones, but they all make the bike sound like it's running underwater. A sort of horrible, sort of weird gurgling sound. It's got a lovely, nice, crisp bark to it at the moment, but the camera, so the microphone makes it sound like really, really not great. So don't worry if that sounds a bit weird. Anyway, I'll put the camera on the stand and we'll start it up. Right, okay, here we go. I've started up earlier today, so the engine's a bit warm, so I'm not going to tickle it. Petrol, I've left the petrol on, ignition on, and I'm just going to dab it and see how it goes. Should start straight up. There you go. Immediate great tick over. Good. The stands rattling a bit. The hoist. Nice. I mean, that's really nice. That tick over is now settling. It was very erratic before, and now great. Settles straight down every time. So that's definitely a really good sign, because it was, you're never quite sure what you're going to get before. I'll turn it up a midge. Very pleased with that. Very pleased with the tick over, the way it's running. Not too much smoke out the back. Ooh, there we go. Now, there was actually very little smoke coming out the back then. There was a very little bit, but not much. So I'm kind of hoping that maybe, like you do, you hope, oh, well, maybe it's sort of like cured itself, because that's what you do, don't you, when you're a classic biker. Yeah, that's it. Maybe it's fine. I don't know. Maybe it is. Maybe, it's been standing for nearly a year. Maybe, there's oil seeped in and it's just been clearing itself. I don't know. But I was that time, that's about the third time I've started it, and that time it did seem a bit clearer. So, maybe we're okay. I'm certainly really happy with the tick over and the way it revs. Obviously, the only way we're going to know if the bike's running properly now is taking it out for a ride, and the weather is atrocious. There's no way we're going out. It might not be till next spring, but anyway. But I'm happy. I'm kind of happy, with a slight question mark over the smoke, but fingers crossed. But what I'm actually going to do now is I'm going to take the primary apart, because I think I've got a small oil leak from there. I just want to check. Well, I'll have a look now, actually, see if there's any more oil coming out. I don't want to take it apart, for no reason, but I'll have a look. And if I think there's a chance of a leak from there, we'll take the primary apart and have a look. I thought there was some oil maybe coming out from the clutch, and the clutch should be dry, but there was oil. There's a little hole at the bottom underneath the clutch, and there was oil dripping out of that last time I looked, which suggests that the oil seal from the primary is gone, and so oil is leaking from the primary chain case into the clutch housing, which it shouldn't be doing, and then dripping out at the bottom of the housing. So I'll have a look. There's no, in fact, I'll have a look now. There's no drip, discernible drip at the moment. So if it is leaking, it can't be that bad. Blimey. Wish I had the bike on the hoist. There's no real sign of a leak there. I don't want to take it apart if it's not leaking. So maybe we're okay. I don't know. I'll get the bike right up on the hoist and we'll have a proper look. Because I don't want to take it apart if it doesn't need it. On the other hand, you know, if it does need it, now's the time to do it. But we'll have a look. Anyway, where's the camera? Hey, okay. Yeah, that's smiles from me. Big smiles from me. So far, so good.